Hey, and welcome to Comedians Conquering Climate Change, the podcast where the clean energy and climate change movement gets what it so badly needed: a bunch of comedians talking into microphones. My name is Esteban Gast, and I'm your host. And every week, I've got a different comedian co-host. This episode, we are specifically talking about fossil fuels, primarily the really absurd subsidies that fossil fuel industry gets. If you're like, I don't know what that means, honestly, me neither, but then we did some research and we're gonna break it down on this show. This is Comedians Conquering Climate Change. It is a project of the nonprofit Generation 180. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode. Today we are talking about fossil fuels, specifically fossil fuel subsidies. And if you're like, we are talking Esteban, I just hear one voice. Well, today's guest co-host is Antony Del Rio. He's a voice actor and comedian known for his work on like small franchises. Maybe you've heard of him, something called Star Wars, the Resistance TV show, Rugrats, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and so many others. Outside of having a great voice, he's a hilarious comedian performing all over LA. Make some noise for my buddy Antony Del Rio. Here he is.
Thanks for having me, man. This is very exciting. More than anything, I'm excited to learn, right? These are things that you kind of hear about, but I never actually dive in too deep as far as like reading and learning myself. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear some facts.
The name of the podcast is Comedians Conquering Climate Change. Do you feel like confident you could conquer it where you are now? In 15 minutes from now.
Where I am now, I'm not as confident.
Okay.
In 15 minutes, maybe a little bit more, with the help of you.
If not us, who? If not us to conquer climate change?
I think we should step up.
Yeah. You know what? Let's step up. Antony, I'm genuinely so happy you're here. Let's get into some headlines. Here is some climate news that is happening. A new study shows that investments in renewable energy creates way more jobs than investments in fossil fuels. For every $1 million the U.S. government invests, solar produces 2.7 times more jobs than fossil fuels. Wind energy spurs 2.8 times more jobs than investments in oil, gas, and coal. And retrofitting buildings to be more energy efficient creates demand for nearly 3 times as many jobs. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. No, so my first question is, do those jobs pay more than comedy? Because I'm open to hearing more about that. Is there such thing as too many jobs? Like, what if our economy is too stimulating?
Yeah,
that's a lot of jobs.
That's a lot. It does feel like, I'm like, does everyone just have 5 jobs? Like, how many jobs are there?
Almost too many jobs. We're almost being greedy.
Yeah.
With how many jobs?
Renewable energies. Quit being so greedy with your job creation.
So greedy.
Oh. It's so good because renewable energy, right? This is like wind, solar, retrofitting buildings, making energies more energy efficient is good already. And now it's also good because it creates jobs. This is like I just found this out. The cardigans that Mr. Rogers wore in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood were genuinely knit by his mother. And I'm like, we knew you were good, Mr. Rogers, but like now you're so good.
Is that a true fact?
That's a true fact, 100%.
Are you a fan of Mr. Rogers?
I mean, enough to know that his mother knit his sweater.
I guess that's a pretty big fan. Not a lot of people know that.
Yeah. Renewable energy, it's like you're already making the world a better place. Now you're also doing this good thing.
It's amazing to learn. It's almost a little upsetting to hear how many jobs this creates, and we kind of don't all, I guess, move towards that in a quicker fashion.
Totally.
Right?
The fact that this is the first time we're hearing about this, for me, when I was researching this episode, and for you not, is like, how are we not all talking about this constantly?
And maybe it's a little bit on me as well. Maybe this is something that I should kind of, on my own, just read up on, right?
Yeah, you can really, like, at the next party you go to, just, like, be swirling a drink.
It's
and be
definitely...
like, do you know how many jobs renewable energy creates?
It's definitely going to be a talking point, for sure.
Does anyone here know how many jobs? Hey, here's some more good news. This last year, 9 out of every 10 new cars sold in Norway were either electric or rechargeable hybrids. Of all the new passenger sold cars in 2021, okay, that's this year, less than 5% are gas powered. Isn't that wild? The goal for Norway is for new cars to be emission free by 2025. and they're like basically there.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Norway feels like the person in like the group project that already finished their task before the first meeting. In the US, we're like, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What's the assignment?
Oh, man, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I was that guy in school who procrastinated. Like US is the procrastinator of climate change.
Yeah, you're the person who's like, when is the deadline again?
You kind of always need that one person to lead the charge, right? And in this case, I guess Norway, to kind of show us, hey, this is what they're doing, this is where they're moving. And I have faith that hopefully US is going to see that and kind of try and emulate it in their own way.
Here's the thing. The Norwegian Automobile Federation reported that if past trends continued, Norway could see its last internal combustion car, that's like traditional gas car, sold in April of next year. Again, their goal was 2025, and they're going to meet their goal in April of next year.
Okay.
That's 3 years early?
Yeah, now this gets me mad. Because I am a procrastinator, and maybe you can say bad things about procrastinators, but people who finish things too early, you're sucking up to the teacher then. You're just sucking up to the teacher.
Yeah, Norway is the teacher's pet, and the teacher is Mother Nature?
Mother Nature, absolutely.
Yeah, you had no hesitation. You're like, obviously the teacher.
And it's a beautiful teacher, right? It's a beautiful teacher, the one that you kind of had a crush on in school. And you have the teacher pet, and then you have the bad boy. You have the U.S. bad boy.
Oh, whatever, teacher. Just literally smoking in back.
Yeah, smoking in back, exactly.
Not just cigarettes, smoking fossil fuels.
Absolutely.
Straight coal.
Yeah.
There is something, like, they're going to be done so early. Here's my fear for Norway. They're going to be bored. They'll be like, we did what we could. What else? It's Esteban, but the S has like a line through it.
Oh,
and
yes.
The E has numerous dots above it.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if this is bad.
I don't know if this is ignorant of us.
Is this ignorance?
Is this
ignorance?
In all honesty, though, great for Norway. That's awesome that they're doing that.
Shout out to our Norwegian listeners.
Absolutely.
And also apologies to our Norwegian listeners. There was just this analysis from the International Monetary Fund, and they found that the fossil fuel industry benefits from subsidies of $11 million every minute. $11 million every minute goes from governments to fossil fuel industry. So the IMF, these are the people who released the study, the International Monetary Fund, found that the production and burning of coal, oil, and gas was subsidized by $5.9 trillion in 2020 alone. That's $11 million every minute. Right? Like, not a single country in the world was pricing its fossil fuels in a way that reflects supply and environmental costs. Basically, no country in the world was like actually letting fossil fuels be like in the free market, right? Being like, hey, this is how much it costs. I'm sorry if oil's expensive. That's how much it costs. Not a single country was doing this. They were giving them globally $5.9 trillion. Nothing is real. Everything is a lie. This is like finding out magic is real, but it's only used to price gas artificially cheap. That's it.
Esteban, I have to say, when I came here, or when you asked me to be on the show, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I'm so intrigued hearing these facts. Honestly, all jokes aside, it is something to think about. It is something that we can do better with.
Yeah.
It's really good to know.
Dude, we're going to get into the second part of this podcast in just literally a few seconds. We're going to get into subsidies, talk about subsidies, and you and I are going to write songs about subsidies, help people and ourselves understand a little bit better. That's right. We're going to write mini songs for it. We will see you in the next section. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this next section. We are playing a game with Antony, and it's called Subsidy Songs. Antony, are you ready?
I'm so excited.
By the way, if you're like, the audio sounds a little bit different, you're right. It's because now we've got a guitar.
Where did that come from?
Wait a minute. Here's what's going to happen in this game. I'm going to give you a statistic on subsidies. Okay, we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to write a song about it immediately.
Okay.
Immediately, statistic to song.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
All right.
Before we get into it, I know you've been wondering. So here is an official definition of subsidy. A subsidy is a benefit given to a person or a business by the government. Okay, it can be direct, things like straight up cash payments, or indirect, like a tax break. The goal is to promote a social good or like something considered to be in the interest of the public. You know, if you like donate to charity, you like it's a tax write-off. That's a subsidy. The government is like, hey, listen, we're not going to worry about it. You know, we're going to give you a little bit of money, or we're not going to tax that money. That's a subsidy.
Okay.
The thing is, what we just have been talking about, these subsidies are not really going towards good things, because that study that we just talked about found that $5.2 trillion was spent on fossil fuel subsidies. That's $5.2 trillion from governments going to fossil fuel companies, which feels like, you know, it's like not the social good thing, but like the idea of subsidies.
It's ridiculous.
So that is 6.5% of global GDP, which means of like money spent in the world.
Right.
6.5% is government funding and helping fund fossil
fuel subsidies.
All right, so
okay.
So we're going to do that. That's the statistic, 5.2 trillion, 6.5 of global GDP. Let's do it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'll play it. You sing this round.
Okay. Spending money on subsidies. Thought it'd be good, but it's not for me. I want an earth that is healthy. Unfairly giving money to all the wrong things. We're talking about subsidies.
Subsidies.
Say, subsidies.
Subsidies. Yeah.
Talking about those subsidies.
Not for me, not for me.
We're saying subsidies.
Yeah, subsidies. Yeah.
Oh, baby, yeah.
Wow.
We went rock and roll on that
That
one.
was huge. I don't know if you, the listeners, we smashed the guitar
So now we're gonna just be playing with on our thighs.
on our thighs because we're rock stars. Anthony did a flip as he hit those last notes. We got real rock. All right, here is the next statistic.
That was fun. Okay, next.
Yeah, we're in the groove, baby.
Yeah, now I'm feeling it.
Yeah,
Now I'm ready.
We can't stop now. All right, the next statistic to song pipeline. Here we go. Fossil fuels account for 85% of all global subsidies. Now, reminder, subsidies exist to help us do public interest. And of global subsidies, every country, fossil fuels are 85%. So 85% of the time that the government is supporting you, giving you some tax breaks, things like that, is going to fossil fuels. Ooh, all right, let's see. This feels, what do you, like slower?
Yeah, like kind of. We're taking it to the countryside.
We're taking, oh yeah. Oh, I'll sing with you.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Come on.
You want me to start it off?
Yeah, you start it off and then I'll jump in.
All right.
Here we go.
We got this thing.
It's made for good.
It's not being used.
Oh, like it should.
Where did we go wrong? Seriously, Esteban. Where did we go wrong?
Oh, are you?
I'm asking you for real. Like, where
uh,
did we go wrong? Because
I don't know.
I just don't understand. So it's 85%. I just don't understand what. I'm sorry. We should probably have this talk after the song.
Right.
So,
No,
where did we go wrong? Why are we so wrong?
Wrong.
Where did we go wrong? Why did we do wrong?
I mean, I think we nailed it.
Yeah. I think that was...
Taylor Swift talks in her songs. Have you noticed?
Oh, she does talk.
She sometimes goes, wait a minute, where did we go wrong?
Yeah, I feel like she talks. Yeah.
She goes, you're stupid and a liar.
Oh,
Do you know
that's
what
right.
song?
Yeah. I do.
It's a real
I'm
song.
not gonna lie. I do like her songs sometimes.
Yeah, they're amazing. All right, hey, we've got one more statistic for you.
Yeah.
Before we personally go wrong in this game, we need one more. So we've been talking about a little bit of the like high-level subsidies. I want to give you one example of indirect subsidies. This one's a little bit complicated, so everyone buckle in. It's there's a subsidy, and it's called last in, first out accounting. What this does is it allows oil and gas companies to sell the fuel most recently added to their reserves as opposed to selling older reserves first, which is how most industries do it. So basically, oil companies sell their most expensive reserves first, reducing the value of their inventory for taxation purposes. This is all complicated. At the very end of the day, this is one of the examples of the many weird accounting tricks that are indirect subsidies that allow different rules for fossil fuel companies as opposed to maybe companies outside of that.
Okay.
So weird accounting tricks.
Weird accounting tricks. Okay. Magic math.
Ooh.
They do magic math. They pick up their calculators and crunch the numbers.
Magic math.
They put it down on paper and in the process destroy the earth with their magic math. They do magic math. Everybody does magic math. Magic math.
Magic math. Magic math. The Chamber of Secrets has been. Hey, that is it for song subsidies, statistics to songs. We wrote subsidy-related songs.
That's
Anthony,
fun.
what a delight. That was good.
Thanks for having me.
You've got a good voice.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony, this is the end of the show. And those listening, also the end of the show for you as well. Thank you so much for listening. Before we get out of here, Anthony, I want to know, we don't have much time. The show is ending.
Okay.
5 words or less.
Yeah.
What are things that you're going to take away from this episode? I'm counting on my hands. No cheating. Okay, no magic math. Not from you. Not from you, Anthony.
I wouldn't do that to you.
5 words or less. What is something you
Starting now?
Yeah, starting. Well, starting now. You've got 3 left now.
Oh no. Why? Norway. Show us how done. I feel like Yoda. Show us how done.
Norway, show us how done. Well, like Yoda, Anthony, we were so happy that you exist. Thanks for being on the show. Here's one thing before you leave, our listeners, here's one thing that you can do. Check out hashtag Stop Funding Fossil Fuels campaign. It's an incredible effort. It's a collective effort from a ton of organizations and celebrities and influencers, and the whole thing that they're doing is their running point on educating politicians and the public, that's you, about why we should stop throwing gobs of money at the fossil fuel industry. Go to stopfundingfossils.org. The link is in the show notes. You can find out more at hashtag stopfundingfossils. Anthony, are you gonna go? Are you gonna genuinely, do you think you will go to Stop Funding Fossils?
Yeah, no, absolutely I will.
And like, it's gonna have so many more resources, so many more things to...
I'll absolutely check it out. Yeah, it was a great experience, man.
I really boxed you in. What if you said, no, I'm not gonna go?
I wouldn't do that to you.
Do you feel like you conquered climate change?
In these, yes, I think I'm a little bit closer to at least knowing what path I should be taking.
Oh, that's good. That's all we can ask for. Thanks for being on the show. Thank you for listening. That is it. This has been Comedians Conquering Climate Change, a project of Generation 180, because the world is a stage, and we're just trying to save it. Generation 180 is a clean energy nonprofit inspiring and equipping people to take action on clean energy. You can find out more at generation180.org. This podcast is produced by Matt Turner. My name's Esteban Gast. I am so lucky to be your host. Thanks for listening. You can follow me if you want, and that's at Real Esteban Gast. ESTEBAN. Gast, like GAS, like the thing we're trying to use less of, but with a T at the end. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next episode.